Welcome everybody to another Voice of Nick show. We're doing more of our Posthomerica artwork here. We currently have all the figures in. We want to do the borders. We have the top border done. We're working on the left border here, which is also going to be the right border. And after that, we'll move on to the bottom, whatever that'll be. I'm not sure how intricate we want that to be, but we'll see. So first, we're going to take these 3 layers and duplicate them. And we're just going to bring them down like this. Okay, and let's merge what's in here. We'll keep one of those intact, I guess. Great. Now we just keep doing it until it gets to the bottom. Oh crap, I can't see what's going on behind his foot. Turn off all the people for a second. Now, let's just put all these in a group. I think if we merged it, then it would rasterize and we would lose all the data that's outside the frame. So we're just gonna do it like this. Oh, and the last thing we want to do that I forgot to do is we got to make that black underside . Okay. Welcome, Plot King. How you doing, Plot King? We are making the borders to our picture, and after that, we're gonna move on. Why does this look like this? Oh, I see. It's because, okay. Now the final chapter I kind of have an idea for, but we'll have to do a little work. I guess that's right. I can't get it to grab the... There you go. Okay. Now we'll turn this off. Nope, not that. Turn just this off. We're gonna put an underside color into it. Locking saying, I had a pretty good burger earlier. Nice. I haven't gone to any like good new burger places for a while. Recently I've been trying to find all the good burgers around LA, and there's definitely a lot of them. But yeah, I haven't been exploring recently, really. I'm good. I still getting some time in on this project. Uh-oh. Okay, good. We did not lose our progress. Okay, yeah, that's still in there. Yeah, you were saying, I think you were saying earlier about having seen the Uncharted movie, right? And it's funny, I went today to go see it. I have AMC A-list, so it's like you're subscribing to the theater rather, and you just get, you get a certain amount of movies you can go to a week or whatever, and you register for what it is, and then you have your seat and everything. So it was all planned out. I got to the theater, walked in, and it was like already about to start playing the movie, but it was like at the showtime. They usually have all the trailers and everything, which I don't watch trailers anyway, so I would have been walking out of the theater, and I was like, wow, great, okay, so it's already playing, or it's about to start. And then the movie started, and it was like, there was like a person being massacred on screen. I was like, whoa, this is really dark opening for Uncharted. And like, there was like extreme brutal gore. And then it started the title sequence, and I realized that it was the wrong movie. It was Studio 666, the one where the Foo Fighters are in a haunted house. And then I was like, wow, I walked in the wrong theater, but at this point, I guess I'll just watch this movie. And so I ended up seeing Studio 666 instead. So I'll eventually get around to Uncharted. I made an honest effort today, but the gods of cinema did not want me to see Uncharted today, I guess. It was a great moment of shock, though, for me, because it's like, I did not expect that at all. So this is, here's what we should do. We'll take this. I'm realizing now what I thought wrongly before too. The thing about this is not that it rasterizes the edges, but rather that it is if you take the group, it will be rasterized, or rather it won't be able to go past beyond where the group exists. But if you take the individual layers in the group, then they'll work. So we'll have to do it that way in the future. Oh, damn it. And I was still thinking it was Uncharted for a while when I was watching it, because I was like, well, they do have some pretty, it's like an M-rated game. Like, there's a lot of gore in those movies sometimes. And for anybody who sees Studio 666, there is the score kind of sounds like Uncharted in the opening. It has like this like dung dung, like the way that Uncharted does when you're like exploring a cave. And I was like, okay, so it's definitely Uncharted. I don't know, I was majorly tricked by that. Okay, so now we're gonna go and maybe we have to come up with something interesting for this corner here, I guess. All right, let's maybe we'll sketch it out in a different color so that we can see what we're doing. So if it was like this, and maybe we had like some kind of boxes inside. Oops. This might be too small for this kind of design. And maybe some kind of swirl, or no, maybe like maybe a diamond version of the same thing, or like that. No, I don't like the diamond. Maybe if it was like a triangle. No. What if it was just a square with nothing in it? Or maybe a little dot on the inside. Yeah, I don't dislike that. Good. Block and say, I've gone to wrong theaters a couple times. Sometimes they fail to change the neon title screens. Yeah, so it was even stranger than that, because I was looking specifically for the number of the theater, but with this subscription service, AMC A-List, so like since I always go to AMC theaters, it's I'm subscribed to their theater chain, and with that service you can see any version of a movie you want. So in LA, I'm not sure if a lot of people know this who don't live in LA, but like movie tickets cost a lot of money in LA. It's like a standard movie ticket is like $18, and an IMAX ticket is like, you know, it's like $26 or something. But you can see any version of a movie that you want with this subscription thing. So one of your 3 movies, all 3 of them can be IMAX or Dolby or, you know, whatever, or in 3D, and I don't know what else they have. But you can see the special version. So of course I always see the special ones, because it's like I'm just gonna get the most expensive one. And those theaters for like IMAX and Dolby and stuff, in my theater there's this one little area where they have like an IMAX one right next to a Dolby one, and it's kind of hard because they don't have the name, the marquee thing above the theater, and they don't have the movie theater number. They're just kind of like both next to each other, and it's very easy to mix up the 2 theaters. So I think I just walked into studio number 3 instead of 2 or whatever. But yeah, I was pretty tricked. Yeah, because you're just walking down one of 2 like long black hallways to those IMAX theaters or Dolby theaters or whatever. All right, we got to get rid of the guides on this because it's really messing us up. Plot King saying, or the show times are off kilter and you miss a chunk of it, which I've done, and the manager let me watch again from the beginning. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's never happened to me. The ones by me are pretty organized. You know, like, I guess just because Los Angeles is like a very movie-centric town, like, all the theaters run exactly on time. They're all reserved seating with no exception. Like, everybody obeys the rules of a reserved seating too, because sometimes when I've gone to other states, they have reserved seating, but it's like somebody will just sit in your seat anyway. Here it's like your seat is reserved, you are going to the theater, like it's very kind of like regimented, which I was surprised by, and I kind of really appreciate that. And I've never seen the movie thing be off, the time be off. I've never seen an error happen with the projection. Like, throughout my life, I've definitely seen that, like when I lived back in New Jersey as a kid. And I'm not sure if that means theaters have gotten better or if it just means that here they're like extra careful about it or something. But yeah, it's like pretty, it's pretty structured since I've moved here. So yeah, it was a human error on my part. Because I was thinking when this one played, I was like, did they just screen the wrong movie? But nobody, like, it was me and like 2 other people in the theater because it was 2 p.m. on a Friday. It's the benefit of choosing your own work hours, I guess. You can go to a movie theater at 2 p.m. on a weekday. But the other people in the theater did not complain. So I was like, I guess I walked into the wrong theater. Yeah, I've been pretty impressed with that, where it's like because I've definitely had, I've certainly had my share of like, oh, like the sound is like out of sync, or it's too quiet, or it's too loud, or whatever. But since I moved here, it's like I've never seen that, and I assume I gotta chalk it up to just like, it's the environment or whatever. It's the culture of movies here. See we're getting so small with our strokes here that we can't even really make a real mark the way we want to. Where are you based, by the way, Plot King? Where do you live? Okay, let's put this. It would be amazing if you said Los Angeles, that it was the same city that I was just talking about not having those issues. But yeah, I don't think it's the city as much as it is the times. I think maybe movies have gotten better, or like screening techniques have gotten better, because everything's done on digital projection now, unless you're going to like the American Cinematheque or something to see a movie, or like a special thing. Nothing is on film. You know, I'm sure a lot of it's automated to an extent. I assume it's just that technology's gotten better. I'm fucking saying Oregon. I will say the thing you've probably heard 10 million times in your lifetime, but that I don't know much about Oregon except for Oregon Trail. But I'm sure it's a very nice place. I gotta imagine though that you played a bit of Oregon Trail when being an Oregoner. What do you call an Oregonian? An Oregon person. Okay, let's do this. So what I think we'll do, let's make like this would be a smart way to do this, because we have to put this thing in 4 different times, and every time it's going to have a different way that it fits in. So let's make a like padding area around the picture, and we can then erase as needed. We'll basically keep that one. It's a little mini bag of tricks. Duplicate it, and now we'll erase as needed. Oregonians. Okay, yeah, I figured that kind of sounded right when I was saying it. Oregonians. Yeah, I think reserved seating is the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's I mean, maybe just because I like going to the theater or whatever, but for me it's like a pretty big deal, like, because I don't watch movie trailers, so when the trailers play in a theater, I actually walk out, and all my friends walk out too, until the movie starts, and then we sit in our seats. And you can't really do that at a theater that's not reserved seating, because somebody will move into your seat or whatever. Yeah, that looks good for the border there. So essentially we don't want this to just be a random texture that's cutting off at the edge of the screen, so that we have like this little thing that caps it off there. I think that works pretty well. Okay, so now let's duplicate these 2 layers. Oops, not lock them. It's so annoying because it like shows new it'll like show new things in this context sensitive toolbar, and it kind of screws me up. All right, so now we actually just kind of want to flip this. Will it let me flip it? I don't think so. Why not? There we go. And why is it that now this layer looks crooked? I guess the other one's crooked too if this one is, but I didn't notice it. That's all right. I'm gonna move this over here, and maybe we'll get away with not having to mess with this layer. Good. Okay, so that's 3 borders that are in. We want the sides to be less sort of ornate than the top. Although the sides are a little bit more conspicuous, I guess. Interesting, now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe we can do a version where, what do we got here? What if it was like this? I think do we have this on its own layers or what? No, we don't. Well, if we did this, then we could draw the lines back in. No, I like the checkerboard better. Okay, let's save that and go back into the thing. Now we got to come up with something for the bottom. I think the top might work for the bottom. And you know how right, didn't we make, yeah, okay, we have an actual version of the top that's not cracked. For once, I actually planned ahead with these things. I'm never smart enough to do that, but this time we actually did it. So now, let's just put this at the bottom, or we'll flip it first, I guess. I don't know, we don't want to rotate it. You can't, I wish you could just do a vertical or horizontal flip, but you can't. It's really annoying because it's like, of course, all I want to do is flip it where it's the exact same scale as the other version, but you can't. You have to stretch it and just kind of guess what the scale is supposed to be. Yeah, I don't like that, actually. It's too much going on. Maybe we'll just have this tiny little, that works. This is just the top rung of the border as like a ground plane. Good, okay, great. And this makes it so that we don't really have to do much. Let's put this over all the people. What do we got here? What's this? Oh yeah, that goes in the bag of tricks, I guess. Now we just want to take all the people and move them up a little bit, or make them smaller possibly. So let's do it like this. So now they fit exactly on there. We got to be real careful about scaling so many complicated layers at once, because all these are like, every person is a group that has like several layers in it. And that's like Crash City on mobile Photoshop, as we found out. See, like even moving them is like the thing's getting ready to kick the bucket here. So we're gonna move it so that the statue is just outside the border, but we want Cassandra to still kind of cross over the border. If I could get this right. Yep. Now, let's just kind of move our people where we want them in the final composition. Aeneas, I think, could go a little bit over, so his foot is kind of like exiting the city. Maybe a little further over, like that. Neoptolemus is good, Priam's good, everybody else is good to go. One little quirk about the way that Aias is sitting on top of Athena's statue is that his sword point doesn't really work in the spot where it is, so we're just gonna shorten that. Because the black doesn't show up against the background, since it's gonna be a black background. So it would just look like Athena's arm has like a hole in it. Yeah, Athena's still sticking out over the thing. Everybody's looking pretty good. Whoa, what happened here? Why is Aeneas underground? Everybody's looking good. Cassandra, see the 3D-ness of like the character sticking out over the edges of the frame. I do like that in this one. It makes it feel even more chaotic. Okay. I think I'm going to get rid of this little section of Athena's base here. And we need to do that with this part. The outline doesn't matter because that's not going to show up against the black background. But this part here, it just looks weird for it to come out past his leg like that. These are the little decisions that only... Oh, Photoshop crash. That's okay. We just had recently saved it, right? Right? When did we save it? Yes, okay. So what's new? What do we gotta fix here? The point of Aias' sword. So you can see that it's getting into this territory where a lot of the changes are causing crashes or lag. Okay, so this is back here. We're gonna fix... Aeneas is good. This is weird. I don't know why this is turned on like that. The broken ceiling is fixed for some reason. It's because this layer is turned on. It's not supposed to be. Okay. What else do we want? Now we just want to fix this little thing with Athena's statue base. Oops. Okay, everything's where we want it now. Good. Now let's save it. And then we'll turn on the black background. Looks great. I'm really happy with this one. Everybody fits well. There's this little dot, we'll fix that. Crumbling ceiling looks cool. What is this dot here? It must just be that I didn't color it in all the way. Whoa. What's a tool we can use that won't affect anything? None, really. I guess this one. Because sometimes Photoshop will make a mark, or it'll think you're using the tool when you're just trying to look around the picture. But if we have this one, the only thing it'll do is make a selection. Okay, Cassandra is good. Athena, good. Ias, good. And the question is, are we gonna do like weathering effects on these or no? I think we'll probably do some light weathering effects. But yeah, I don't even think that these little border things, we don't need to put anything down here because it looks fine with this ground plane overlapping. I think this picture is pretty much the closest to finished that we have. Same as, it's sort of on the same level as this one with phylacteries in them. It's the same art style as well. I think these two are very close to done. We'll probably put some, it's called The Voice of Nick. If you want to see more, don't forget to hit the follow button, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.